Over the course of LeBron's 18-year career so far, there have been many incredible performances in the postseason, but most of the time, several games are often selected by fans and analysts as the greatest performance of his career. Among these most commonly are Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals, where he rose to the occasion in a must-win situation and dominated the Boston Celtics with 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists on ridiculous efficiency. Then of course, there's Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, where LeBron completed the historic 3-1 comeback over the 73-9 Warriors with a massive triple-double and with arguably the most clutch blocked shot in basketball history. When you ask most basketball fans, and when you look at most lists online, these two are usually the games selected as the greatest performances of LeBron's career. But as great as those two were, I disagree. In my opinion, the greatest performance of LeBron's career came much earlier, in what was a significant step towards his all-time great legacy. If I'm going to have any chance of convincing you, first, I'll need to paint the picture of that time frame, and I'll need to break down the events that took place. The year is 2007. LeBron James was entering his 4th season in the NBA as only a 21-year-old player. Although we could already see much of LeBron's potential, he was still yet to have a signature moment in the postseason, and most people in the NBA community thought the Cavs were years away from being title contenders. After all, the most frequent starting five for the Cavs that season was LeBron James, Larry Hughes, Eric Snow, Drew Gooden, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Not your typical championship supporting cast. Despite the lack of superstar support, the young LeBron still led his Cavaliers to a 50-32 record and the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. Throughout the regular season, LeBron averaged 27.6 points, 6 assists, and 6.7 rebounds on 47.6% shooting. Finishing 2nd through the regular season with that supporting cast was an incredible accomplishment by itself, but LeBron's legendary moment was still ahead of him. He dominated the first round against Gilbert Arenas and the Washington Wizards, sweeping them in 4 games. In the second round, the Cavs defeated a more talented New Jersey Nets team in 6 games, who were led by Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, and Richard Jefferson. That's as far as anyone expected these Cavs to go, because waiting for them in the Eastern Conference Finals were the heavily favored Detroit Pistons, a team who had finished with the best record in the East for the past 2 seasons and had made the conference finals for 5 straight seasons. Detroit was rich with talent, led by former Finals MVP Chauncey Billups, and he had help from other All-Stars like Richard Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, and Tayshaun Prince. Simply put, these Detroit Pistons were the reigning power in the Eastern Conference. They were experienced, proven, and battle-tested. Again, no one outside of Cleveland actually expected this inexperienced Cavs team to prevail over the Pistons. But after 4 hard-fought close games, the series was tied at 2 games apiece, with the series moving back to Detroit, where the pivotal 5th game was about to take place. The game continued with the trend of the series. It was a close and hard-fought game throughout. Many players on both sides were contributing. That is, until the final 3 minutes of the 4th quarter, and from this point on, it would be all LeBron James for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was only 22 years old at this point, and he was taking over offensively in a way that we've never seen before. The young LeBron was hitting basically every kind of shot on the court, from poster dunks to highly contested jumpers. He displayed one of the most clutch, unstoppable offensive onslaughts of all time, dragging his Cavs through the final minutes of the 4th quarter, through the first overtime, and through the second overtime. After yet another clutch 3 to tie the game with just over a minute remaining, Steve Kerr, who was calling the game and was a longtime teammate of Michael Jordan, said that "This is unbelievable. This is Jordan-esque." And then, with the ball in his hands with only seconds remaining, LeBron drove through the heart of the Pistons' elite defense and scored the game-winning basket, capping off his legendary night in a 109-107 victory. He finished the game with 48 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. From the final 2 minutes and 48 seconds of the 4th quarter to the end of the second overtime, LeBron was the only Cavalier who scored, incredibly dropping the final 25 points for his team. During that stretch, he shot 11 of 13 from the field, while the rest of the Cavaliers were a combined 0 of 6 from the field with several turnovers. LeBron is known to dominate games in various ways, with his scoring in combination with his facilitating and rebounding. But rarely do we see LeBron take over a game completely offensively. Sure, Steve Kerr called it Jordan-esque, but the truth is, his 25 straight points to close out a playoff game is something that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, and basically no other great has ever done. And again, this came from a 22-year-old to close out the most important game of his life up to that point, as he was dethroning that era's dominant team of the conference. If you look up the definition of the word carrying, a photo of this game should come up. With this iconic Game 5 performance, LeBron single-handedly took the momentum of the series, and the Cavs easily closed out the Pistons in the 6th game, and LeBron made his first of 10 NBA Finals appearances. I think some of the other great performances are often selected as LeBron's best simply because they were more recent, and more young fans were able to witness it. Plus, more people in general were paying attention to LeBron's legacy at that point. But unlike many of LeBron's young fans today, I vividly remember Game 5 in 2007 and was completely awestruck by what I was watching. To me, not only was this game the most impressive I've seen from him, but I believe it was also the most meaningful. It's one thing to witness the triumphal climactic moments of a player's career, but it's something else entirely to witness the origin story. This was the beginning of the LeBron James we know today. This was the moment where I knew as a young fan that the league would soon be owned by LeBron. This was the moment I realized that this young man may actually become better than Kobe, that he's every bit as good as people hyped him up to be, and that his nickname the King is very well deserved. So what do you guys think? Which performance from LeBron James was the greatest of his career? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.